Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Sentai Writers United podcast. Sorry I was not here last weekend. A few things came up, but I am here now. And tonight you can call me... Nah, screw it. Not going to do the show drill bit tonight. Call me Colta for tonight. This is our stage now, so let's actually get this thing started. So, we first introduce Baron or whoever himself, the Toy Man, CJ.
Howdy, everybody. How's it going?
That doesn't sound like Kaito to me.
I decided not to do it.
Dang it. Anyways, and then right now we have Volt.
Hello, everybody. How are you?
Adrian is running a bit late at the moment, but he will be in here fairly soon, hopefully before we get this whole retrospective started. But first, we have to cover our news of the week. So, if I can bring up screen share, and if it'll actually, work for me. Let's see. So if we go here, first we have some news on the new game, Kamen Rider Summon Ride. And it has some stuff that will launch for PlayStation 3 and Wii U in Japan on December 4th. And it uses real-world type figures, which is kind of like Skylanders, if you've never heard of it. What if you don't know what...
really any of that kind of stuff.
What?
Oh, it's also Disney Infinity, and I think...
yeah, sort of that sort of thing, yeah. If you guys are familiar with Skylanders and Disney Infinity.
More.
It's kind of in that vein.
As of right now, it's only Disney Infinity and Skylanders. Basically, let me go grab, because I actually have Skylanders. Hang on one moment.
Okay.
I'm here, Sunburn. So, to give you an idea of how this game is going to work, pretty much, not only are you going to have like a starter kit that you'll get with the game, you're also going to get, you'll have this little altar-looking thing, pedestal thing, and you'll put a figure on it. In this case, this is a Skylanders one. What it has a microchip in it, and the microchip sends the information through the pedestal for this particular toy, or for this particular thing. So it will actually go through and send the information to the game, and that particular rider will come up.
Mm-hmm.
The cool thing about this, if they do it the same way that Disney Infinity and Skylanders did it, is you can actually level up your particular figure. So, like on Giants, on Skylanders Giants, I leveled up this Sunburn up to level 15. If I put this on another Skylanders Giants game, he will be level 15 with all the specifications that I put on him. So if Kamen Rider Summon Ride does it right, they'll incorporate that aspect to where you can take your figures from game to game and have your particular aspects, not the aspects of whatever. If they have the same particular figure, you won't have their
No figure will be the same.
Exactly.
Also, I just remembered what has the what the third one I was thinking of was. It was the Nintendo Amiibo thing.
Has that come out yet? Or is that coming out?
I think it's coming out soon, but it's pretty much the same concept.
Either way, though, I think it's a pretty interesting thing. Looks like 16 characters are participating, being all of the main Heisei riders, all the way from Kuga to Gaim and then to Drive, of course. So,
why do we need any of those? Kuga, especially if Kuga Ultimate's there. Kuga Ultimate shows up, he blows everything up.
Of course. But anyways, what are your guys' thoughts on this whole thing?
Every time I see one of these things pop up, I still sit and think, man, these kind of game things would work really well with franchises like Transformers.
Yeah.
Kamen Rider's a good start, but I think the idea has merit. I genuinely wish we would get something like a third Batride Wars or, another Climax Heroes game. But if we gotta do this Summon Ride thing, okay.
I think it's just supposed to be something new more than anything. It's just supposed to be something new and, different, because they did the Battle Ride Wars, and I don't know how those fared in Japan, but whatever the
They
case,
did
I
all
think
right.
they're just doing something new. But anyways,
Well,
oh,
well,
CJ.
the thing that I like about it, is not only are you
Cheap figures.
going to have yeah, well, yeah. Not only are you going to probably get a really cool video game in the process, you're also getting a little figure. So if you're like me, you can get your favorite ones that you like and have those for the game. Or if you're like some people that I know who like the figures and not the game, you can keep the figure. So like I don't have the game anymore for Skylanders, but I like Sunburn. I wanted Sunburn, so I kept him. Um,
Oh God, I hope they don't do like I hope they don't give O's all of his forms in this game because I might have to suffer again.
Suffer again.
Oh no, hang on, like this is
I guess
super
if they
quick,
do.
but I did that.
Yeah.
And if Summon Ride has all of O's figures again, I might just collect them all again.
Well, at the same time, another way that they could possibly do it is have it to where your particular figure has the unlockable form. So it may be that somewhere in the programming of the microchip
They
that
no, they
they
wouldn't do that. That would not allow them to make a ton of money off of it. It would have to, if you want to be O's Rata Rata, you have to get the O's Rata Rata figure.
True. That's the only downside that I can see about this game is that it's going to be nothing more than a really big moneymaker. I think the game will be fun, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, it's nothing more than a big moneymaker. Um, so we'll just have to see what they do with it. Um, as of right now, what little bit of information that we do have, it makes it sound really good. And of course, you've got the collectible figures in it aspect to it. But at the same time, there's still this voice in the back of my mind that's just saying, "Be wary, bro. Be very wary. The game could suck."
Yeah.
Anyways, though, let's get on to the next piece of news that we have. If I can bring it up. On Orange Range, by the way, there was a review recently posted for the Rurouni Kenshin movie. And and we were just looking through the review, so what is everyone's thoughts on the review, and what's everyone's thoughts on what they said here?
I kind of want to see the movie
I do too.
because, like, I dug Rurouni Kenshin, and there are some people I just want to be like, hey, Deno, that guy that you really like making fun of? Yeah? He's Kenshin now.
Yeah.
How's that?
And so, he's actually been Kenshin because this is, the third movie. That's why it's called The Legends Ends.
Yep.
I haven't read much through the review because I want it to remain fresh, but mostly what I hear and read is, go see this movie. Go see it. Go.
Yeah.
Why are you even watching this right now? Go see the movie! Yes, it's playing in Japanese theaters, but just, go hop a plane, go to Japan, watch the movie. Go!
Now!
The hell are you still doing here?
All right. Since y'all are still staying, we'll entertain you some more.
Anyways, and the last thing I want to talk about, if I once again bring up screen share, is there's a article post on HAU about Kamen Gaim and this will help us lead into what we're talking about, of the staff, of all the actors and people there sharing their final thoughts on the show and the production. And this was translated by, I believe, Acer was the one who translated this.
They just copy-pasted the Acer blog post of this, and I kind of noticed that, looked for the credit for Acer, and saw that little single note, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Real quick before we get on that, someone, the person that I talked to on Facebook who watches this, who communicates through me, he's saying that the reason why Takeru Sato was not in the Kamen Rider movie was because he was working on Kenshin. So that's the reason why he himself was not in the movie. Anyway,
interesting.
Which makes sense because those two were being worked on around the same time, so can't do both without having major conflicts. Anyway, moving on.
So, what does everyone think of the final thoughts, everyone, on this?
I've actually seen quite a few of these. I thoroughly enjoyed reading the final thoughts blog post from the O's finale. I specifically remember Date's actor and Hina's actress just kind of crying a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I also believe Onk's actor weeped a bit. There's a thought for you. Onk crying.
Well, looking at, because I haven't read every single word for word, but based on what I have read, as well as the pictures that we have seen that are in this article, there's one thing that I can most definitely say, and this seems to be more prevalent in Japanese in Japanese
Media.
TV, and yeah, that's the word, media. And that is and it doesn't even necessarily have to be Kamen Rider or even Tokusatsu related. The thing that I have noticed is that for pretty much any show in Japan, when they come together to make this show, they're like a little family. And at the end of that series, they're pretty much not going to be around each other anymore, or in that context, because obviously they're going to be working on other things. I don't see that in the U.S.
Not as much.
It happens, yes, but I don't see it anywhere near as much as what I do in, say, like Great Britain and Japan. Those two, they literally do become like a family. It's all because you always see them together, and not in a publicity stunt kind of way. It's always they're just hanging out, having fun with each other, and oh hey, how you doing? Want to take a picture? Go ahead.
Yeah, and that's kind of something that was also
through the HJU article and kind of noticing they cut out a lot of people.
Well, they obviously.
We're missing the final words of the director, Kota's sister, Sagara.
They cut out Sagara's last words?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Most of the beat writers, the girl who was possessed by Kogane. Yeah, I think we're missing even Takatora's. Yeah.
We are.
Yeah. Wow.
They we're missing Mai's actress, I believe.
No, we're not missing.
No, we're not. She's right before Gaku.
Yeah, it's just like wow. Okay.
Either way,
we're also missing like the personal Twitter posts from each individual actor.
But I will actually, I didn't do it before, but I'm going to post a link to Acer's actual final words so you can hear everything. I'm going to post that in the link in the description down below after the podcast. After the podcast is done airing, so if you want to check that out after we're done, then feel free. So either way, but yeah, I think it's awesome to see all of these actors really come together and really become a family. Like, I remember one article that we covered just for the sheer heck of it was the whole little music video thing of Just Live More done by, Kota, Kaito, and Takatora's actors, all three of them.
They
And
must have been so bored.
but the point...
Real quick, we should have actually probably used the Acer Subs blog because there's actually, because, you know, the HJU is just taking like bits and pieces from each of them, but the Acer Subs one actually has the particular writers that are missing, like Zach and
went through saying all that.
Either
so
way,
it has,
we'll put that link in then. We'll put that link in come the end of the podcast. Either way, though, it's nice to see everyone kind of form up as a bit of a family and have all these people. You know, it's not just a show, but it's where all these characters, but that they're able to hang out on and off set, and that they really have this chemistry, which is what, in my opinion, is something that makes a lot of these shows really, really special and memorable. Is that these people have genuine chemistry, which is honestly something I don't see very well in very many Power Rangers shows, even. Like, I kind of see it in Power Rangers, but I really don't see the chemistry there. While with something like all of these different shows, in every single one of these shows, no matter how good or bad it is, you can at least see some sort of chemistry with the actors, and it's one of the things that makes these shows great, no matter how good or bad the show is in general. So it's awesome to see that in Gaim, especially with, as in my opinion, as good of a show Gaim is. But speaking of which, now that we're done with that, it's time to move on to the long-awaited main course, and that is a series.
Before we move on, I want to make a really, really fun note about this.
Okay.
Because it just goes to prove how amazing Oren is. His actor's name is Metal Yoshida. His actual name is Metal. How more hardcore do you get?
That just goes to show that a badass person played a badass character.
It's called Bravo. It's called Oren. Oren is awesome, and we're gonna get to him. We're gonna get to the guy.
I know, it's just his name being Metal is great.
Of course.
It's like, hello, I'm Metal Yoshida. How do you respond to that?
Maybe he needs Lost Driver. Fine, okay, that was my one. I won't do it again, I promise. I had to. It was too good to make that joke. It was too good not to make that joke.
Anywho.
Now you may move on.
Now we may move on.
Anywho.
But yeah, we are doing a series retrospective of the newly ended Kamen Rider series, Kamen Rider Gaim, of course. So, we're of course going to start off with the story analysis. So, and by the way, also this will probably have major spoilers. We'll try to do our best. Okay, I have an idea. Let's give our very, abridged thoughts first, without any spoilers, without any real big, plot point big things, and then we'll go into spoiler detail.
Okay. Before we even do that, I'm going to say, if you haven't seen this show, why are you watching?
Yes, if you are watching this series, you need to go. Yeah, you need to go away and go watch it.
Yeah.
Oh, real quick. Apparently, Metal Yoshida is a musician.
Ooh.
Does he play metal?
That's what I was gonna say. You took the word straight out of my mouth.
It's almost as good as like the midway villain in Kaku Ranger, who is like this metal guitar playing guy who also plays piano, being called Prince Jr.
Oh Lord. Anywho.
Yeah, he's part of a rock band called Ninja Man Japan.
Oh
So,
my god, this guy gets better every second, I think.
Oh heck yeah.
I do
Uh,
agree. All right,
Anyways, so
let's get back on. Let's get back onto the topic. So,
okay, I'll go in order. I'll be me, and then CJ, and then Volt here. Final main thoughts on Gaim. I'm gonna I don't like to jump on bandwagons, and I know, and you know what, I like to have popular opinions when in the sense, this show is amazing. To me, very slow at the beginning. To really describe it, yes, it's kind of funny that I'm making this reference, even though this isn't the train-related show, which is funny enough. That's the show Tokyo is airing, but it's very much like a steam locomotive. It starts off very slow and lumbering in the beginning, but eventually the engine kicks in and it just goes chugga 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 chugga, and then it just runs you over, choo choo mofo, and it just runs you and runs you and runs you and runs you and runs you over, and it doesn't know when to dang stop. And that's what I love about this show so much, is that once you get to about episode 11, once the first arc finishes, because there are 5 arcs, there are 5 main arcs in the show. Once the first arc finishes, everything really kicks into gear, and all of the fascinating stuff that comes out of Gaim starts to sprout out from the roots, pun intended. And it's just, in all honesty, really good show. Really good themes, great characters. I love all of the characters, even Jonochi and Oren. I love both of them by the end of the series so much, and we'll get to them soon. The themes and motifs are pretty cool, even though they have, the fruit and the breakdancing and stuff like that. I thought it was really weird at first, but once they kind of take the focus off the breakdancing, more on really the main plot line of the show, where it's going, it's really good. I like how they've taken away the two-parters, where it's not like a serialized narrative, like, oh, one part goes in the next, and then it cuts off to next case, which is something that I kind of like with Double. But with Gaim's story, it doesn't work. And what I like most is not only the themes and motifs and how poignant they are, especially from a religiously allegorical standpoint, but also for the fact that it's not a very plot-driven show as much as it is a character-driven show. It's about characters clashing with different ideologies and different methods, and the way that the show works is great. I don't really know how to describe it other than that in a nutshell without going into spoilers, but it's great to me. That's just what I think. So, let me get on to thoughts of everyone else. I'll stop babbling. CJ, what do you think about this?
Simply put, when I first started it, I had no idea what the hell was happening. I'm looking at it like, fruit? What? Are you kidding me? But then, we get past that certain point, and I'm just like,
oh, hey, a frog.
holy balls, that was awesome. So, hey, we've got the ribbit.
Hi, frogs. You just got here. You got here just in time.
So, anyway.
Hello? Ribbit?
Hello.
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay. Alright, heads up. I just moved, so my internet's garbage. And, yeah. Sorry for being late. I hate Gaim. JK.
JK. Okay,
I'm
anyway,
glad you said a
CJ.
JK in there. Anyway,
Continue.
so
If you didn't, I'd have to crucify you.
anywho, so overall, looking at the entire series in perspective, I wanted to flip shit at first because it's just like, how in the hell is fruit going to work? How is this going to happen? I need to know. And then it clicks. Yay! And it's pretty much been an awesome ride ever since. I do like the aspect of kind of having the dance stuff to it. It's different. It's not your typical Kamen Rider. So it's an aspect that I do like of it. Anything else? Without going into spoilers, I can't say much else.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to pass the torch over to Volk.
Okay. So when this show started, I was already not a fan of Gen Urobuchi,
Hold
or
on.
as he
Sorry.
should.
Well, sorry to cut you off. I'll be right back in a moment. I know it's not important, but just in case you guys decide to talk to me, I'll be right back.
Okay. Or as I call him, and everyone should call him, the Urobutcher, for very, very important reasons. But I was like, okay, let's give this a shot. Let's see what happens. If I see classic Urobuchi stuff popping up, I'll just bow out of this show and skip Rider for a year. And well, I enjoyed the first part of the show was quite good. The first couple arcs were really good, and I enjoyed them. Then, after about the halfway mark, the show kind of went into a nosedive for me. Because more and more and more the classic Urobuchi tropes started peeking through the cracks, and, well, it just started becoming quite the usual Urobuchi production. Again, enjoyed the first half. I actually overall think the show is good. There are a lot of parts that I don't agree with. A lot of things in it I don't agree with. Really, without talking about specific stuff and specific characters, I really can't say much more.
Okay, so Adrian, what are your thoughts on this? Or Frog, sorry. Wow.
He has not returned yet.
No,
Oh wait,
he's
here
here.
he is.
No. Okay,
Frogs,
hold
what
on.
are your thoughts on this?
I was checking my street passes. Okay, Gaim is in my top 3 of favorites, I guess. It's not number 1. No. DK is in my heart forever. And then Ryuki is always number 2. Actually, never mind. It's a tie between Ryuki and Gaim. I don't know, but still in top 3. I just
Quit talking.
hold. Oh my God, hold on. All right.
I didn't quit talking to you.
Okay, so I don't know. I'm not very familiar with Urobuchi's work, except for, I mean, maybe I've seen some of his stuff. I just don't know. I've definitely seen Psychopaths. That's like one of my favorite.
Gargantua on the Verdius planet.
Yeah, no.
Aldino Zero.
I've been meaning to watch Aldino Zero. I didn't know that the show until last week when you told me, and I've seen the first.
I think we lost him.
Hello?
Wait, I think I lagged. Did you guys? Wait, what?
Yeah, you lagged, and it's like you saw something and then cut out.
Oh, sorry. See, I told you I might have technical difficulties because my internet's garbo. Okay, like I was saying, I didn't know Aldino Zero was a Urobuchi until last week when you told me. But I saw Madoka. The first episode. I finally finished the first episode of Madoka Magica last week, and I felt like I was on acid.
Oh boy, wait until you get to the rest of it.
Yeah, I would assume so. Gaim, I didn't feel like I was on acid. Psychopaths, I definitely did not feel like I was on acid. That's actually a really good show, and I didn't. That show is not very crazy, as everybody says Urobuchi's work is. I have seen the very ending to School Days. That was, oh God, that was scary. But Gaim, I love Gaim. Everybody got like a good amount of character development. Some got a lot more than they should have than the others, definitely. Um, Story is pretty good for the most part. There was some, some unnecessary things that happened. Mainly, I really think that the last episode was kind of unnecessary. To really, the show was done. I mean, I think it could have literally just ended with 46, because 46 was just right. 47, that was a little too much. I don't think I really wanted it. I mean, it was nice, knowing, or hey, 9 months have passed since it was 9, right? Or 6.
It was
7
one of
months.
those.
It was like 7 months have passed since Helheim was destroyed.
Sometime after the hell of Helheim.
I know, right?
But yeah, I didn't think that episode was quite necessary. It was just some extra stuff, just like, hey guys, here's the last episode of Gaim. Enjoy, because you will never get a show like this ever again, probably.
Except for
I'm pretty sure
that thing called Drive coming up.
And then we got Drive. By the way, I saw the reviews for the Driver, and I love the prehension music already. I don't know if you guys talked about any Drive stuff in the articles.
No, we didn't.
Oh,
No, we did not.
wow. Didn't that link any Drive stuff?
We
Oh,
did
you
not.
got some stuff. I guess I'll just watch the articles later.
Okay. Anyways, though, so let's actually get into specific plot here. So let's first talk about story. Story, you guys, for people who've watched Gaim, you know the story. Yggdrasil is essentially running this entire town, Zalame, and they're doing all this breakdancing stuff, and eventually these people get their hands on Sengoku drivers, and they get their hands on themselves on some lock seeds, and then people start playing Armored Riders, and from there, all this other stuff unravels, from breakdancing and rivalries, to spoilers, to trying to stop the invasion of an entire dimension. Yeah. And then
I wouldn't say they come along them, more they are given to them. Because it's like, hi, I'm Sid. Here's Sengoku Driver. Here's a lock seed that goes to it. Have fun.
Pretty much. And essentially, these people all become, they're test subjects. They're test subjects for these things, and we figure out more about the invests, and eventually we figure out about the overlords, and really what Helheim is, and stuff of that nature, and that really goes into the themes and stuff of the show. And those themes, and once it kicks off, once it goes from the breakdancing to the, oh my god, this company is trying to cover up all the Helheim stuff and trying to do this and that and the other, once it gets into that part, that's when the show really starts to kick into gear and really take off. At least in my opinion, that's what it is. And that's why one of the reasons why I love the show so much. So, anyways, what do you guys think of the story in general and the way the plotting goes and whatnot?
Who are you starting with?
I'm starting in the order that I went: CJ, Volt, and then Frogs.
Okay. So, I'm of the same opinion. The first 10 episodes... The first 10 episodes were there to introduce the writers, with the exception of the energy writers. Is that what they were called?
Yeah.
So basically, it introduces most of the beat writers. Like one or two more get introduced later on. But anyway, so the first 10 episodes, I'm seriously thinking, what the hell? This is moving slow as molasses. And then that story kicks in. And you find out why all of this is happening, and Yggdrasil doing this, that, and the other to hide their mess and all. At a certain point, however, and sorry, Volt, but I'm taking this away from you. At a certain point, a specific person, he pretty much took over the show. And Noah, Volt, you know exactly who I am talking about.
Yeah.
Pretty much, he's all like, I'm doing this because I want to save my friends, and I don't mean the good one. I mean the bad one. It's like, but I'm siding with the bad guys to do this and blah blah blah, and I'm going to be all big and bad and look all macho with my friends. And unfortunately, the mofo did not.
Uh,
Oh, you know what? We're going to be talking about him anyway, so I'm just going to use names. Michi, I'm sorry. I loved him as a character. I liked the way that they actually had him flip from being good to being bad. But at the same time, I'm just like, okay. At a certain point, I just got to the point where I was like, okay, we get it. He's big, bad, and evil. He's probably the evilest mofo I've seen. Let's move on. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the way that they did his story in transitioning from good to bad and then eventually back to good. But the thing of it is, I just,
after a certain point, you kind of just stop caring.
yeah, pretty much. It's just like, okay, we know, Michi, you're big and bad. You
I mean,
stole
even Acer has fucking jokes about this in their
Yes.
episode descriptions. I think, I'm trying to remember it. Continue while I try and find it.
I mean, eventually they finally move off of that because it finally no longer becomes a major prominent thing, which I was so glad for. I was so glad to see that. Oh, thank God, they're no longer focusing on Michi. Hell yes. But just eventually they did focus off of it, like I said, and they pretty much focused on the battle that was inevitable between Kota and Kaito. I actually loved the build up to that, right down to, was it Kaito? Yes, right down to Kaito throwing Professor Ryoma off the roof. I was
This is
so happy
Sparta!
for that.
Wait. Wrong reference.
We need to make that. I need to get that
Later.
image now, and
Later.
I need to just go.
Later.
This is Sparta.
Ah,
Later.
here it is. I found it. Michi
Found the
continues
what?
to demonstrate his status as the biggest shit. That's not a spoiler. It's just the basis of the show at this point.
Yeah. Pretty much.
What episode was that?
29.
Oh, of
Oh,
course.
balls. God,
It's even got an image with the tag of Mitsuzane takes his lost Genesis driver, transforms into Kamen Rider Zangetsu, complete final true, blah 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 blah. Can't top this guy. I mean, wow, look at him. He's so shin. You can't even handle this much fucking shin in your life. I mean, there's another Zangetsu. He was cool and all, but he wasn't shin. So he was shit. Get with the program. This is the real deal. The main event, the top of the ladder, the ultimate perfected culinary slaughter melon his hair. Oh.
What?
alrighty.
What?
Yeah, no, that's pretty much what happens with Michi for a while, is this just like we go in this plot circle for a while.
Yeah. I mean, I like the way that particular arc did bring out the storyline between of Kota, Kaito, and Mai. I like it, but at the same time, at some point I just kept on doing this. I was like, okay, we know Michi. We know Michi. Now you just showboating.
Again, this guy's so fucking shin, you can't even handle it.
Yeah. I like the way episode 46 ended. To me, episode 46 was the end. I don't care what anybody says because I know there's at least one of us in this particular podcast that disagrees with me. But 46 was the honest to God end. 47 was 47. Yes, may have been a good victory lap, but at the same time, the one thing that I could not fathom was that if I remember correctly, the particular villain that they were fighting was Kogane was
Yes.
was from a movie that was supposedly set in an alternate universe. If I remember correctly, it's the same universe that Kamen Rider Taizen had based in it. Because I think we actually see him appear once in it, just like at the tail end. It's like just for a brief second.
No, Tyson took place in regular world. The summer movie that we haven't seen yet because it hasn't been subbed by anyone and it hasn't gone to DVD or there's no raws of it because what the at this point.
Oh, wait, am I being heard?
Yeah, we can
Am
hear
I
you.
being heard yet? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So in the show, what's his face, Jam was like, you kind of remember me, but you don't. But in your world, that was just a dream. It was real. He said some
Yeah,
bullcrap like that.
to me that was the biggest bullcrap statement that I could have heard. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
So pretty much, yeah, that movie is an alternate universe movie, but they just made it canon for some stupid ass reason.
That
I mean,
I like again. We haven't seen the movies, so I actually have no idea if Kogane actually gets away.
I don't.
Like
That's
47
apparently.
lives.
Yeah, apparently. I don't know, because remember the last time they did something like that, the crossover movie with Tyson, or with the Kamen Rider Tyson? They did the crossover special that was supposed to be canon, but then we get to the actual movie, and you're all like, hey, we're just meeting for the first time. What? But I just met you, like, what happened? How are we just meeting again for the first time?
yeah, that's a major issue with me. But but like I was saying, the thing is, if if Kogane was supposedly like in a dream world or like in a parallel world or whatever it was, and he was not canon to the series.
Well, okay, so
I mean, I know
from what I can understand, and this is me taking a huge shot in the dark on this. The movie takes place in an alternate dimension where instead of the beat riders being dancers, they're soccer teams.
Yes, because we get that reference from the one episode.
Yeah, and for some of them, it's like like they're not fully cognizant of the fact that they're in another reality and something else is going on. I don't know. This is, again, me taking a complete shot in the dark guesstimate of the plot right now. And I'm not going to go read a synopsis because I don't want to spoil myself on it because I actually want to see what goes on here.
Yeah, I do too.
Bang, bang, shot in the dark. Bang.
Anywho.
So, yeah, I was kind of confused. It's like, so the villain gets away in the end of the movie? Is that what I'm being told here?
Because that doesn't seem logical. I don't know. I just feel like episode 47 should honestly have not. I mean, if they wanted to have that victory lap status or that victory lap aspect, they should have left Kogane out. Because if he's not relevant to the main world, where it's dancers, not soccer players, then why bring him back? why have a grown-ass man possess a little girl? Because that is what happens.
Creepy as fuck, yo. I've seen weirder in the Air Gear manga, but that's a story for another day.
Yeah. So, it's just like, why?
I
I can't explain it. I'm just 47. Don't get me wrong. I liked the episode, but at the same time, the only issue that I had was Kogane being in it. If he's not from the main world, it has no relevancy. But that's just me. So I'm gonna pass the torch over to Volt.
we're on like just the general story, right?
More in depth, so we can do spoilers.
Okay. Where to start with this? I actually really enjoyed everything when it was a very fun game of writer versus writer. I kind of didn't quite enjoy when the overlords were introduced, and it kind of fell into more standard writer formula in a way. Especially later when it's all like, oh, this race of super intelligent Invis, and they're so rare, we only have records of one of them, and then we find out there are two, and then three, and then it's like, by the way, there are actually like 10 more after those three, so there are 13 of them. I think. I lost count.
No, I think there are only maybe 6 or 7. I think there are only a few overlords.
There's quite a few though that we actually find out that have the overlord aspect that are able to call.
There's only 7. There's only 7 in overlord invest.
That's still quite a few.
Especially with how they built up that they were rare and special, and then it's like, there are 7 of them now.
Yeah, but the main ones though that we're really supposed to be focused on are Demushu, Deidre, and Roshuo, of course.
But like overall, I kind of would have enjoyed this as more of a whole writer versus writer thing for a good chunk of the time, and then just all the writers have to do something in the end. But what we got in the end was a pretty enjoyable thing. I mean, it was... Alright, Internet, I'm gonna be straight with you. Your writer fandom, you're not gonna like what I'm gonna say.
Oh god.
Didn't like Kaito.
I think we just lost a whole bunch of viewers.
I can hear the hate comments getting ready.
I can hear it too.
But it's like, oh god, like I kind of enjoyed him. Again, this is a whole first half, second half thing to me. Just Kaito in the first half, same for Michi, was actually pretty enjoyable in some aspects. He gave off a very Vegeta-like vibe, and I kind of enjoyed that about him.
My apologies.
So the way Michi went, I completely just went, alright, I'm writing this fucker off. He's not enjoyable anymore. And then, good God, Kaito, when he finally snaps, he ceases being Vegeta-like, and he's like, yo, I'm going full Vegeta, but not DBZ Vegeta. I'm going DBZ abridged Vegeta, who's just a cocky ass.
Holy Jesus.
And it's just like... I legitimately just got madder and madder each episode after he finally flew the cuckoo nest. and went full overlord. But what really pissed me off in the end is, hey, we're systematically killing off all the riders until only 2 stand.
That's the
And
point.
one is like over in the corner crying like a little bitch like he deserves.
Because the freaking person that he's worked so hard to obtain through all of this is, once again, spoilers, is freaking dead! Might as well be dead!
Not dead.
She's
They
not
just
Might as well
evolved
be
and
dead, but...
they transcended to a higher being. But
Yeah.
the thing is, that's what we call karma.
Yeah.
Fuck Michi. But
Actually, I'm gonna disagree with you guys on that.
I legitimately just, by the end of the show, I was rooting for Kota and Kota only.
Well,
Because I was just like, please stomp Kaito into the ground.
okay.
I would have been okay.
We'll get...
I would have been okay with him stomping Kaito in the ground and slapping Michi like the little bitch he is.
Okay. We'll get specifically to characters, but I know I talked a little bit about... I didn't really share my full thoughts on, like, kind of the story itself. My real, in-depth on everything like you guys did. But I'll let Adrian... If Adrian wants to, I'll let him speak, and then I'll share some of my thoughts before we get into specific characters. Adrian, are you there? What do you think? What do you think about the story itself? Like, just the plot line, stuff of that nature.
The story is super crazy. Alright, so we start off with some super terrible happy shit. And then it goes into some super terrible depressing shit. And then it ends with a super terrible ending. No, okay, so I actually I don't know, I kind of hated the dancing, but I liked the dancing at the same time, so I don't know, at the end when they started dancing again, I was sort of happy about that. I was all like, hey, I actually sort of missed their supposed whatever they called dancing, because it wasn't dancing. It was legit just them moving their arms and jumping a little bit.
It's the electric shuffle.
Taking a few 2-steps. Yeah, they were doing the electric shuffle in a sense. And I don't know. At first, when I started this show, this by the way, Gaim is my first on airing writer. So I when I first saw it, I was all it was like there was 5 episodes in. So I was like, okay, what the hell is this?
Did we lose him?
I think we lost him again.
Yeah.
We did.
Do you mind if I continue while he's...
You go ahead.
Okay. If we're getting into specific story and plot lines...
Oh, wait. Nope, he's back.
Oh, wait. He's back. Yes.
Oh, shit.
You really are having difficulty, aren't you?
Hello?
Well, you said that. Yes. We can hear you.
I told you, internet sucks. That's why I have my camera off and everything. Good lord, where the hell was I? Okay, so yeah, when I started watching Gaim, it was 5 episodes. It was 5 episodes in, and I was all like, "What in the world is happening? They're fruit? What? They're dancing and then they're gonna fight, but they're fruit? What the hell?" So, yeah, I didn't know what the hell was happening, and then episode 14 happened, and I was all like, "Whoa! What the hell just happened? First you were dancing and fruits were happening and more fruit and then dancing, and then now every people are dying and shit? I didn't see that coming at all." And then it just kept getting better and more things were happening. And
You're a butcher. What do you think's gonna happen?
I didn't think he butchered anything. I just was taken for a surprise. It was a ride. Gaim is a ride, especially if you're watching it while it was airing. If you haven't seen Gaim yet, damn, you don't understand how we all felt. Like every episode, like holy shit. What episode was like way out there that was like, okay, hold on, episode like 43? Like I had to wait a whole week to watch 44, and that was like some ass. I did not want to wait a whole week to watch episode 44.
Yeah.
I wanted to watch it immediately. But that's Gaim. Gaim is like it's super crazy. It's like no like you can't even compare it to any other writers except for like probably super early Heisei. Because that's the only yeah, like I
No
watch
fear.
Gaim.
No pain.
Okay, so first episode of Gaim, I saw elements of Fies already because the Yggdrasil commercials, and because Smart Brain was all over the place in Fies. And then we get more writers, and I thought, okay, this is Ryuki now, and then we get Overlords, and I'm like, son of a bitch, what is this, Kuga? Freaking Grongi's appearing out of nowhere, and then it just keeps getting all over the place. The only thing that was missing was some clocking up. What are they gonna clock up? Oh wait, that's Jimba freaking Cherry. He can kind of move fast.
Yeah.
He doesn't clock up though.
Everybody got it. Well, super speed pretty much counters clock up.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
and then of course you have to remember that going from Kachidoki to Kiwami, he's a cast-off.
Yeah, which was great. I love that. There's so many great things about the show. So many great things about the story and the character development. And just, I actually like Michi, by the way. In the end, I started to like him. I'm the only one.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think we hate Michi. I just think a lot of it is that we hated the fact that it was like for like 10, almost what felt like 10 episodes back to back.
Oh god, no! It was
I think it
almost
was
like
longer.
I think it was like 14 episodes.
Yeah,
Oh,
14
we're
episodes.
here.
It was Kamen Rider Ryugen, not Kamen Rider Gaim.
Again, Michi continues to demonstrate his status as the biggest shit. This is not a spoiler. It's just the basis of the show.
But
Once
yeah,
again,
the
I'm
show,
gonna disagree with you guys on that, but we'll get to that once we actually get to Michi. Anyways.
the show is over and we're still talking about Michi. Hashtag Kamen Rider Ryugen for life.
Ryugen is love, Ryugen is life.
No!
Yes! Yes!
But I think, alright, so I think overall the story in Gaim is like, so far
Pretty good.
it's very good. It's like one of the most like well-written stories that I've ever seen in any kind of show ever, actually. Minus, Korra.
I know.
Korra is love, Korra is life.
Oh god, have you seen episode 4 or episode 1 of book 4 yet?
No, because I've been out playing Smash Bros. All day. I will watch it once we're done with this.
Okay,
It's actually pretty good.
do not talk about Korra. I still need to see season 2 and 3. So hush
Oh
about
my
Korra.
god! That's when the show gets good, is season 2.
I
Yeah.
don't.
Why are
I
we
have
talking
to-
about Korra? Why are we
Hold
talking
on,
about Korra?
this is Korra podcast now. This is a Korra podcast now, okay? So,
No, it's not. This is Gaim here.
Oh, we'll talk about it in the end. So,
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, I'm done, pretty much. If you haven't seen Gaim, go watch it. It's great.
if you haven't seen Gaim, why the fuck are you watching this?
Yeah, that too. You should just go watch the first 14 episodes of Gaim right now. Alright, moving on.
Okay. Let's get into specific characters. First, we'll start off, of course, with the main lead himself. We're gonna start off with Kota, and in order to do Kota, I have to do this.
No, you don't.
Of course I do. Sorry about that. Anyway, so I'm gonna start off with Kota. Kota, of course, being the main protagonist, is my favorite character of the series. Very idealistic, but despite his idealism, he is a very, very good guy. Very, of course, very altruistic. He wants to protect the people he cares about and his friends, and he's willing to go to great lengths to do so. And the fact that he has this, what I love about him is that out of all the people in the show, he changes and develops and becomes an adult, but his resolve to protect the people he really loves and cares about is something that never wavers from the show. It's something that keeps going throughout the entire show no matter what. And it's amazing to me how he can have that optimism and just be like, I don't care what, as he says to Ridgeway, I don't care what happens to me. I don't care what this changes me into. I'm going to still fight, and I'm still going to do what I do, even if I change in the end. And he's just fighting for what he believes in and the ending that he wants. And that is amazing to me. And especially near the end of the series, once that comes into full force, it's just amazing. The character development and everything that he goes through in his struggle is amazing. And just as a character, he's very well written, he's very well developed, he's a very natural development. And for the show being a character-driven show, the plot is very much driven by his and everyone else's actions. So to see the way that he plays off of those, whether it be Kaito, or whether it be trying to stop Kaito, or of Michi, of trying to, actually help Michi, which we'll get into. He's great. And also, I want to give props to Gaku Sano, who is his actor. He played the part really, really well. He did amazing in the part, and he delivered every single line that he had perfectly with the conviction that he needed, whether he was just being silly old little Kota, or if he was being angry, I'm going to kick your butt into oblivion Kota that we see near the end of the series. He's great. He's a great actor and great performance, great everything. Kota's my favorite character in the entire show, and his resolve and his development is amazing throughout the entire show for me. But I'll stop going on my little rant and tirade about how amazing Kota is, and I'll go to everyone else. So, what are your thoughts, CJ?
Kota, to me, at the beginning, he seemed like the biggest... Okay, I'm just going to have to say it. To me, he seemed like the biggest man-child. Not even...
Episode 2.
Not even going to lie. He seemed like the biggest man-child there was. And then, as time progressed, I did see the resolve. He had it regardless, but you see that resolve stick. You do not see it waver. You don't see it buckle under anything. So, to see that happen, to me, that shows... to me, that's just like the biggest amount of growth in that particular character. If you had to ask me, I would say that Kota got the biggest amount of growth in the series. Usually, it's somewhat equal among them. In Rider series, there's growth among them that you see all together, but in this one, Kota gets so much of it that and the others really don't. So I find that sickeningly amazing. And yes, I said that way for a good point. There was one episode where he was so hurt and wounded. He had to be completely bandaged up. And he was told, if you're not careful, your wounds are going to open. And he did not care. He got right back up, and he was fighting. And, that was really a testament to his resolve. I like him as a character. Gaku Sano is a fantastic actor. He pulled the part off extremely well. I'm with Thomas. He did deliver his lines, or he did. Basically, he made you believe that he actually was, which obviously is good acting, which, pretty much most people are. There are some people that you can definitely tell they're acting, but for the most part, in this series alone, just in this series, I know I'm kind of going broad spectrum here, but their acting is so on point. You don't unless you're just like, okay, I totally lost the way that I was going to go with this. Pretty much, if you had just been introduced to watching TV, you would think that this was happening in real life. They deliver everything perfectly, almost as if they are that person, which is really good acting. All right, I'm done talking about him. Next.
Yeah, okay. Um, so, uh, a little thing about me that is actually a very common occurrence for me is, save for a few select shows in Rider, I usually actually dig the secondary writers more, because what they do is usually they're introduced a bit later, so they actually have to get this huge, like, my camera is about to fall. Hi. Yeah. So they actually get a friggin' adrenaline shot of character development in like a good chunk of episodes, and it usually grabs me. I mean, some are actually there from the very start, like Kagami and Kabuto. Oh god, he's one of my favorites. Very, very rarely do I attach to the main writer. I think the last time that happened was Forze, and before that was O's. Oh, nope, that's okay. Everything went quiet, so I thought my mute button hit.
No, we're listening.
Yeah. But the fact is, I really dig Kota. And like I said before, he kind of became the only person I was rooting for, because genuinely he was the only person left to root for. I mean, later down the road, we'd get Zack, but, well, Zack gets Kaito'd.
What do you mean by that?
Kaito breaks his belt like he
Oh, I
did
know what you
Oren
mean.
and Jinochi's. Which, now that I think about it, why the fuck didn't they go through the whole withdrawal thing like, Hase did? Okay, whatever. I dug Kota because he very much fits the everyman persona.
Oh, by the way, oh sorry. I think that they didn't go through the withdrawals because, well, Oren he was like trained and whatnot. So and
I've
Jinoichi Oren trained him. So I think like Hase was just that weak.
I've
So
seen people use that, but it's like,
Holy crap!
okay, I can give Jinochi he got a little bit stronger thanks to Oren during the whole thing. But it's not until like the 7 months after that he's like genuinely become strong, in my opinion. So I think Jinochi should have gone through the withdrawal and died too. But it's like, I genuinely don't think the whole Hase was too weak thing justifies that.
yeah.
It's just like, I'm sorry, especially when later they kind of have this whole power corrupts thing going, and I see the belt as kind of part of that. But
Oh yeah, you go on.
yeah, no, I'm trying to find my train of thought on Kota. It's gone off the rails. It's a crazy
Never a good
train
thing.
now.
It's never a good thing when your train of thought crashes.
There it is. I I dug his whole everyman thing. I genuinely enjoyed episode 2. I know a couple of people who thought episode 2 was the dumbest thing they've ever seen out of Rider. I thought it was great, and I was just like, yeah, no, if I got superpowers like a Rider belt, I'd be doing that too. I'd be henching it anytime I had a chance.
Honestly, yeah, I don't know who wouldn't be doing that, so I agree.
Yeah. Um, cool. I actually enjoyed. Man, I keep saying that a lot. Hang on. There it is.
Okay.
I love the fact that Kota, no matter what anyone says, because especially in the latter half of the show, everyone's trying to tell him how stupid he is for believing in his ideals of protecting everybody. Literally everyone who isn't Mai is calling him an idiot because of it. And it's like,
I think even mine, to some extent, especially near the end, is like, are you sure you want to go down this path, Kota? Are you like she seems very hesitant.
yeah, and he never backs off of that. It's I dug him so much. I mean, in the beginning, I dug like kind of everybody except for Zangetsu because we didn't get much out of Zangetsu because reasons. There's going to be a
Much
lot
out
of
of
me.
Zangetsu
There's going to be a
adapt.
lot of me being angry when we get to Takatora. I'm done.
Anyways, though, what are your thoughts, Frogs?
This is on Kota specifically, right?
Yes.
Oh,
Mm,
let's see. Kota's a cool dude. I like him. I would say he's my
Coolest
favorite character. Yeah, I would say he's like my favorite main character like ever, or like he's like the best. I mean, he's pretty cool. He got some serious character development, yeah, but I didn't notice his character development until like really like into the 40s, because like the entire show I was watching it and I was all like, this guy, he legit felt the exact same the entire show. He's all like, also, this should be called Kamen Rider Run, because that's all Kota did. Kota ran everywhere. All that dude did was run.
I bet by
The
the
only
end of the
time
show, he had legs that rivaled yours.
I know, right? Like, and my legs are amazing. Ask Noah, he's seen them.
Oh yeah.
No, but like, if you ever see Kota, you only see him standing still or running, and that's pretty much it. Standing still or running. He's just running everywhere, especially later in the show. He's just running so much. But yeah, I just felt like he was the same character through the entire show. Just run, Henshin, run,
There
Henshin.
was kind of a point until they got to the whole Redway illusion thing,
Oh my god.
Yeah.
and then it's like, and he's had his development.
He's
It all
like,
came to a
yeah.
head there, and it's like,
Oh crap.
He's like, yeah, now I'm Kiwami Overlord, I guess you could call me. And now I officially just don't give a fuck. Is basically what that is. Basically what he has in development. He's like, all right, I'm Kiwami. I'm an Overlord. I don't give a fuck anymore. Everybody's telling me that I'm stupid, but guess what? They're gonna be saved by this stupid ass. Is basically what happened. But Kota's still a cool dude. He's like he's nice. He's a sweetheart and all that wonderful jazz. And Gaku Sano is a pretty good actor, yes, and fantastic singer also. But he's just all that damn running.
I
And
mean,
it's cool that he does his own he does his own stunts too, which is cool. But it's just all that damn running. Holy shit. That's what got me the entire show was all the fucking running.
man, it makes me wish we were in like
Play too much Pokemon.
going back a bit to Blade, and it's like everywhere they went, they were on their bikes.
Yeah, it's
It's like, yo, I'm gonna go to the ramen shop and get ramen. Come on, Blue Spader.
Well,
yeah,
hey.
I remember that in Blade.
Well, hey, at least he got some exercise in the process.
He got hella exercise, you know it.
Yep.
Not just some. He got a lot.
He could probably put my legs to shame.
Yeah. Also, be realistic. Whoever did not like that part in like the beginning of the show where Kota was like in his room practicing his henshin and just being stupid. Honestly, who the hell would not do that? If you think you're about to get superpowers, you don't attempt to do some stupid shit like that. You do not deserve to have those superpowers. All right. That's just me, and I think I'm done
Bullshit.
there.
Nobody grounds a Kamen
It's
Rider.
right. With that, I think I'm done for Kota. I guess.
All right, so real quick before we move on, just how many of these people are we doing? Because there are a lot of people involved.
Oh, no.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna cover Kaito and Michi, and then we're gonna look at Jonochi and Oren together. We're gonna talk about them together, and then if anyone wants to mention any other little tiny things having to do with the more side characters of the show, then anyone can mention essentially anyone they want, just to make
I
it
mentioned
quick. That's all.
the true star of the show for a while,
Oh, Takatora, just remembered that. Yeah.
Zach.
We'll mention Zach in a little bit, but for now, let's go on to,
God,
of course,
great.
Kaito. Kaito, for me, yeah, also, I'm just gonna bring out the banana right now. Why not? So, Kaito is very much a, how do I put it? A typical shonen anime main character, to be honest.
No, he's not the typical main character. Kota's the typical shonen main character. Kaito is the typical shonen anti-hero.
Anti-hero,
AKA
okay.
the
That's
Kaiba, the Vegeta, the Chaz Princeton.
Of course. But Kaito, I kind of like his mindset, and I think his mindset is really revealed to the core in 45, in my opinion. It's really late. Here's the weird part. I think once 45 hits, I think I really start to understand, for me, what he is. And even without 45, in the sense, I think in a sense, his resolve to, want to, think that the strong are the only ones to survive and stomping the weak, his real goal isn't necessarily to stomp the weak, but in order to use that system as a way to then subvert the system that he used to do so, which sounds kind of hypocritical, which I think that's somewhat part of the point. But I also believe that him doing that is his way to get to the top, so then he can be able to change everything from there. And he wants a system and a society and a life form that is able to, or species that is able to not stomp the weak, that won't stomp the weak and use their strongness in order to take away their compassion. And I think that's something that really does appear near the latter half of the series when we see that. And that's an interesting thing. That, to me, is one of the more interesting things about Kaito, is that point right there. Is that he's using the system that he absolutely hates in order to change that system. Which is interesting to me, how he does that. And I love, and I think my favorite line come episode 45, and it's that Kota, to quote him, says that Kaito's resolve in his dream was right, that his values were right, but the way he did it was wrong. So let's grant his dream, but do it with a more fair method. That was in 46, actually, not 45. That is interesting to me. That is very interesting to me, just to see that his method was wrong, but that his resolve, in the end, when you're looking at everything that happens, was right. It's just his method of killing and destroying in order to get to that top, because he's been pushed around to be weak since he was a child, is interesting. It's interesting to me how that works, how there is that ambiguity, how it's like Kota is more right than Kaito, but Kaito still has this right to him. And I know he's just an interesting character. I don't really know how to describe it more than anything. He's just very hard-headed, he's obstinate, he's very strong-willed, and he's not willing to back down like Kota, which is I'm gonna make a point once we get to Michi. I'm kind of foreshadow the point here, but I know a lot of people kind of complain about about 46, kind of how brutal what happened to Kaito happened, but I think there's a big reason why they did that compared to with Michi, which we'll get to later. But yeah, Kaito's interesting. What's his name? Yutaka or Yukata? I don't know which one it is, but his actor, I need to get a name.
Yutaka Kobayashi.
Thank you,
Yep.
Yutaka Kobayashi. Thank you. Yutaka Kobayashi, amazing in the role, just like Kota. Both of them steal the show together, and just to say, I think episode 45, because of how well the show builds it up, episode 45 and 46, that fight alone is worth the price of admission. Just to watch the entire show and get all of that build up for episode 45 gives so much payoff. And it is spectacular to watch. And I love it. I love the fights in the show in general, but that's something we'll get to later. But anyways, I'm going to stop rambling because we need to get this thing on over with. So what's everybody else's thoughts?
Shout out to John Calloway. Kaito is a badass. Shout out to Doc Slindy. I love you too.
Anyways, CJ, what do you think about Kaito?
Kaito. Biggest dick in the world.
Once again, I'm going to disagree, but I've already
Well,
shared.
well, let me explain. I'm not the biggest. Okay, I like Kaito. Don't get me wrong. I like Kaito. At the same time, you know, his methods are horrendous. I mean, okay, at the beginning you think it's nothing more than power. Yes, at the end you find out he wants to rewrite the world to kind of make it better to where no one has to fight to be strong. Like, everyone pretty much is strong from the get-go. Alright, I get that. That's admirable. However, just how many times even after the beat writer arc was terminated, just how many times did he go against Kota for saying your beliefs are stupid? Obviously they paid off in the end. They weren't as stupid as he thought. But I like what little development he gets. I do like it. I just think at the same time, he didn't need to be so much of a dick. Because, like I said, it's not until the end of the series that, it's ulterior motive, basically. But, still, he came across as a dick. So, that's all I can really say about Kaito. I can't say much more about him. I liked his character. I did like his actor. Played it perfectly, but that's all I can say. I can't say much more about Kaito. Next.
Okay, Vol,
Yeah,
what do you think?
it's fun time.
Give him hell.
Okay. So, I'm going to do this different. I'm going to kind of split this into a more of things I liked about Kaito, things I really didn't like about Kaito.
I know where this is going.
I enjoy the times where he actually kind of is more the honorable person rather than the power. I need to have all the power. Power, 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 power.
Power hungry
Hey, you know what I need? You know what I need? Power. And
power hungry megalomaniac.
And it's like the first thing that comes to mind is one scene when they're teaming up with Ryoma to try and sneak in and take down Michi, is where Ryoma says a line where it's like, "Oh, those two are probably dead by now," and Kaito goes, "Well, he's probably right, but," and then clocks Ryoma across the jaw and says, "If you're gonna say callous things like that, at least have some tact." And that's what I liked about him. Was those moments where he's actually more
a human.
more enjoyable, because it's like, no, you said kind of a dick thing, so I'm going to be Karma's fist and punch you. I liked a lot of the moments he had with Mai before he snapped. I kind of, and then it's just like, there was one more, and I'm trying to remember it, but I think it's more the actor in this case, where it's just like the dude does not like bananas, but he's like, okay, gonna do this, play it straight. I'm gonna walk with a giant banana on my head, like I'm the most badass mofo in this entire city.
And he is.
Zach was better.
You get the idea, though.
Zach was better.
Anywho.
What I genuinely didn't like was the fact that when you break Kaito down, all there is to him is, I need all the power. I must be the strongest. And now, the thing is, this can work if the character has to struggle in fights. It's like, no, I can see this working with Kaito, but then it's like, yo, we're going to give him lemon energy, which, according to some stuff I've seen, that wasn't actually intended.
It was not, no.
And it's like, oh, he was such a popular character that they gave him something. And it's like, I wonder if that included a good script rewrite to, give Kaito more moments.
May I interject something, actually?
If you want.
I actually thought the introduction of Lemon Energy actually was a logical step in the progression, actually, of him joining up with Yggdrasil, trying to gain more and more power, even if that meant teaming up with people he didn't necessarily believe were strong. I believe that was actually a logical development in his character, especially at that point, with being able to defeat, or at least get close to defeating Demushu and actually making a mark on him. That was a very significant scene, and I think both somewhat the development of Kaito and Demushu.
I could say this now, and that is, I have to disagree.
Why is that?
Mostly because of the fact that we have this episode where we basically get a bit of Kaito's backstory flushed out, which is the whole thing with, his town being destroyed or taken over by Yggdrasil, his tree being taken away, and basically him saying, I hate Yggdrasil with a burning, fiery passion. Hey, Yggdrasil, mind if I join up with you?
But he's doing that for a reason. He's being used by them, but he's being used by them, but he realizes that, and he's using them as well. And he even says that if they show themselves as weaklings, I will cut them down myself. That is a huge piece to it.
I still don't, especially when he builds up that tree as being so massively important to him, and then it's like, hey, we're bringing you into the heart of Yggdrasil, and here's your tree, by the way, and he has no fucking reaction. No, not even a blink.
It's because he shouldn't. It's called he's trying. I believe it's someone, you can disagree as much as you want. I believe it's him trying to keep somewhat of a guise. I believe he's trying to be able to. He's trying to kind of, not necessarily negotiate with the Yggdrasil or whatever the word is. He's trying to work with Yggdrasil not for the sense of Yggdrasil itself, He's doing it for his own means to gain power. And yes, he probably doesn't want to work with them, but he knows that's the best option in order to get him the power that he needs. And eventually, with everything that happens with Lemon Energy and everything that gets to that point, that's what helps him get to the point that he gets to, which is why I'm completely fine with that decision.
And I'm sorry, I'm not. It feels completely out of left field when he has an entire episode where he basically talks about his hate for Yggdrasil, builds up this tree, and then it's like, hey, here's your tree, and there's not even a fucking single throwaway line. There's nothing. It's like we build this tree up and then do nothing with it. And that really fucking bugged me. And other shit that bugged me was how, and this is legitimately, this also pertains to Michi. And personally, I didn't like it. It didn't feel right to me. If other people enjoyed it, cool, that's you. To me, it really just kind of mucked up the characters for me, and that is where Kaito's ideals, his mentality, all of his beliefs ceased being that and just became Kaito's very personality. And to me, when that happens to your character, when their ideals become their personality, they cease being a character and they become a concept. And to me, that's boring. It's genuinely boring to me. Because now it's it's really hard to mentally tie my thoughts together right now. Oh. When Kaito became more of a concept of the character that he was trying to be, I felt that really what made him actually a good character kind of just vanished. And all that was left was this power-hungry jackass who called people stupid. The only thing I enjoyed he did in the second half was basically keeping Michi in check and basically going, you misstep once and I will break you. And overall, oh god. Why is my brain derping? I had all of this stuff mentally thought out earlier today.
It happens.
Oh god.
Happens to all of us. Even happens to me some days.
Overall, I liked early Kaito a bit more, but by the time we get to the end, I want nothing to do with him. Because this kind of goes back to my whole thing of early on, I saw him as being like Vegeta. And the thing is, they missed the key thing that made Vegeta what he was and such a good character, which is, deep down, that prince knew, I will never be stronger than Kakarot. He will keep surpassing me. But he never accepted it. And he kept fighting it to the end. And to me, that's what made Vegeta great. And that's the thing that they missed with Kaito.
Okay.
I'm pretty much done.
Frogs. Sorry. What's your thoughts on this, on Kaito? Did we lose him?
My thoughts are Smash Bros. Is wonderful. Sorry, I've been playing that. You want to start my turn? I've been playing Smash Bros. I'm still listening to you guys. Kaito. Let's see. Kaito. When I first saw Kaito, I was all like, yo, dick. Who the hell are you? Why are you walking up in here changing our music while I'm trying to dance? You fat dick. And then he became Banana, and I was all like, yo, this dude is literally a dick now because he's a banana. And then Kaito got kind of like, I don't know, I started to like Kaito more and more as the show went on. And then he became Lemon Energy, and then I was all like, this was not supposed to happen. How are you going to become stronger? I mean, it was cool. I kind of wish he didn't get Lemon Energy. I wish he got at least something better. He could have
Mix.
used Mango a little bit. He could have got, yeah, he could have gotten a mix. He could have gotten Mango. He could have used Mango a little more. Mango was pretty strong by itself, but no, everybody's pretty much. If it wasn't their main form, they didn't use it. Like, look at Pineapple. Pineapple got used like twice. Same for Strawberry.
Pineapple was cool in my eyes.
Mango was cool.
But yeah,
Pulverize
Mango was
and destroy.
Strawberry and Mango were like the
I
coolest to me.
hated Pine so much.
Okay.
I don't know, kiwi, pineapple, no, kiwi, mango, and strawberry were my
It just
favorites.
felt like them throwing Ryugen a bone.
Right. I don't know, like that was all. It was very strange. Like he just got mellow energy out of nowhere, and it looked like the suit was obviously like just modded out. The ass. you
Oh
could
no!
just tell.
It was really obvious that like the Baron Lemon Energy suit was such a rush job because it is literally the Duke suit with they swapped the Duke crest out with a very rushed looking Baron crest that got replaced with probably a better one later on down the road. And then they literally just cut the Duke helmet in half and slapped the back half of it onto Baron's helmet. That's the Baron Energy
Yeah.
arms.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it looks cool. I'm not gonna lie, it looks cool. I really think the Baron Lemon Energy looks better than Duke Lemon Energy. But that's just me. I don't know, like Kaito. In the end, that's when I was all like, I didn't know how I felt about him anymore. In the end, I was all like, I don't know if I like him or if I don't like him anymore. It's weird because he went from being like sort of an like more hero / anti-hero to straight up like villain anti-hero. I didn't know what the hell I was like really confused whenever he became an overlord. So, like he was all like, "Follow me, or you're fucked."
Follow me
I
or
was really
die.
confused. Yeah,
Pretty
I was
much.
really confused when that happened. I didn't know how to feel about him anymore. And yeah, follow me or die. I was not following the Kaito train.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, I don't know. Kaito is he's just one of those characters that I just don't know how I feel about him anymore. And I'm done with that.
So I guess now we move on to Michi.
Oh goodness. Okay.
I mean, talk fast because we only have 10 minutes left.
No, we don't. Well,
We're going a
we're
little
gonna
bit
go,
of it.
because we're doing a whole series retrospective. We can go longer for this. We're
Maybe.
gonna cover Michi, then we're gonna
Oh,
cover
damn.
a few of the little characters here and there, and then
I
we'll
would
get into the
say-
action and themes and stuff. Final thoughts, and then we'll get out. of
I
Holy
would say
crap.
if we're going to continue doing characters, we need to start doing it in a more rapid fire thing.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
don't take
like-
forever on this one.
I'll do the best.
Yeah,
I can.
I'm pretty hungry.
This
I
one
haven't eaten
though,
all day.
Michi. Oh goodness, Michi. Michi. Okay. Let me put it this way. Yes, it was a bit of a. It kind of did go over a lot of episodes, and yes, it a little for me, a little bit. It got straining, a little bit. Not by much, but a little bit.
Oh, this is going to be good.
However, I do believe that his arc was handled relatively well for the most part, and that his development between being a good guy to a bad guy was good, and I thought that the way it was handled was done pretty darn well, in my opinion. I thought it was done very well. His actor did very well. The performance was very genuine and very good. All the actors. I'm not going to point out any specific actors anymore because all of them did great with the performance. But Michi was great. I like how he factored into the plot and the story, and to see things from his view and turn from someone who's on Kota's side to essentially becoming his enemy and being as desperate as he is. The thing is, unlike I think a lot of the fandom, I'm going to make a very unpopular statement. I don't want the guy to die. And yes, he's done terrible, terrible things. But
It's not what you were
I'm
saying
looking
like
at...
a month ago.
What?
It's not what you were saying a month ago, but okay.
But I did a little bit of thinking, of course, and mainly it was because episode 42 happened. I'm looking at this also from the point of view of Kota as well. And with Kota, the reason he gets more redeemed is if we're looking at Kota's point of view, the reason, and this goes back to my point with Kaito. In 46, if you guys don't know, Kota's about to die. He takes Kaito's sword, breaks it in half, stabs him with the own part of the sword, and kills him. Which sounds very brutal, and people are complaining, why didn't they do that to Michi? But the thing is with Michi is that not only is Kaito being the one thing that stands in Kota's way from being able to get to his goal of the Forbidden Fruit and be able to save the world and save and protect people, so he had no other choice. But with Michi, he also doesn't see the amount of desperation. He sees what Michi's doing as way overly desperate. We see it as desperate. We don't see it in the same way because we've seen all of the events that have led up to it in ways that Kota hasn't. So if you look at it from Kota's point of view of him forgiving him and trying to forgive himself, that whatever the case is, that no matter what has happened, he can redeem himself and make a good future of himself, which is why, even though it's somewhat rushed in 47 and the way they kind of handle it in 47 is meh to me, that if they could have done it a little better and been able to signal why that change happens, I think that change happens because over time, because it's been 7 months since everything's happened, he's got a lot of time to cool down from everything that's happened. And even more so, it's that this threat is arising again, and he has to become the hero now that Kota isn't here. And he's learning now to forgive himself, which I think is the biggest part of this arc, and I think is huge, is that he needs to learn to forgive himself because Kota has forgiven him, even for all the terrible things that he's done. And that's the reason why I don't want Michi to die. That's why I didn't want Michi to die once 42 aired, is because I looked at it from that perspective and saw it in a different way. Either way, Michi's a great character. Character-wise, I want him to die. Don't want him to die. Glad he didn't die. Glad he got redeemed. Once again, main 3 characters per usual. Great. But I'm sorry I keep ranting. I just have a lot of points to make because this is a very interesting show to me. Either way, CJ, what do you think?
All I can say about Michi is that he went from being a good guy to bad guy back to good guy. I like his transition between good guy to bad guy. I see why they did his transition the way they did from being bad guy to good guy. I actually like that. That's the only redeeming quality that I can find of episode 47. That's just me. The one thing I must point out though is Masahiro, his actor. Mahiro, my apologies. Mahiro Takasugi, his actor, actually said at one point in an interview he did not want Michi to be redeemed. And look at what's happened. He's been redeemed. I'm actually kind of glad he got redeemed because I did like Michi overall, but in a nutshell, the only thing that I hated about Michi is that for 15 episodes we find out, Michi, you're a dick.
Michi continues asserting his status as the biggest shit.
Okay, goodness, you
Yes.
said that 3 times.
Because that is like the worst part of the show to me is that entire 15 episode thing.
No.
It is. I mean,
It's
that's
like,
the one
God.
kill. That's the
I'm
one
gonna.
thing that made me want to. That's the one thing that made me almost want to consider stop watching the show. I got tired of the Michi thing getting hammered into my head every time I turned around. With
I
that,
Oh, sorry. Continue.
with that said, I am done. So I'm going to pass the torch over to Volt.
Woo! Okay. So, very much like Kaito, beginning of the show. Fucking like this character. It was actually pretty cool. I saw his arc more. I saw him more as a character from one of the SD Gundam series called Sunken. A very meek character who has just a shit ton of bad stuff happen to him. His dad died. His big brother died. Now he's in charge of their entire kingdom. Oh, ain't this fun? So he kind of has to brave the hell up and protect his entire family. And I kind of was expecting Michi to go down that road. I think if Michi went down that road, he would have been much more enjoyable. However, he did not. He went down the road of being a tool. And when I saw that he was going to go down that road, and then some of the stuff with like the backstabbing of his big brother started getting foreshadowed, I was like, ooh, are we going to do a whole like switcheroo thing and like Takatora takes Michi's place on Kota's side? And when I say this, I mean like long term, not for like one thing and then get offed. I mean like a full on switch. And nope, we don't get that. We don't get anything like that.
Not completely, but I believe there is somewhat of a switch. I believe.
Only
Some
for like a couple episodes where it's like for the longest time we thought Takatora was dead, and then it's revealed he's alive and he's hanging out with Roshiro for a bit, and then Roshiro's like, you can go back to your world now,
No,
bye.
that's not where I saw it. I saw it in 27 is where I saw that before he was.
Well, I'm talking like just like he gets booted out, like he leaves Yggdrasil of his own will and joins on Kota's side. Because, you know...
Well, he doesn't leave Yggdrasil.
Yeah,
but
no,
he
they try and off
he
him.
does. Yes, but he does realize Kota's resolve, and he realizes that he can find solutions without having to make these sacrifices, which is a huge theme in the show. That is huge in the themes of the show.
Let's see. But no, we have to have this whole thing where, well, you've heard me say it a bunch of times. Legitimately, I just don't enjoy Michi because of the fact that instead of letting the show flow naturally, he has to become the tool to stall for time. And here's where a good chunk of this kind of comes into reality. Michi's arc could have most likely been settled in 4 to 5 episodes, but we don't. We let it take.
Why would you want his arc to be settled in 4 to 5 episodes?
I'm talking about the whole. Okay, backstab my brother. Now I'm gonna try and kill Kota, take and do all of this stupid stuff. And the reason for that is because then the show wouldn't go through this 14 episode, hey, Urabuchi is vamping for time because he's never written a series this long.
He's not vamping for time. That's not what I think he's doing.
Hang on a minute.
I'm sorry.
Hang on a minute. That's your opinion. This is the opinion of Volt, which I do see what he's saying.
I see it as well. I'm sorry.
It's majority-wise, that could have been solved a lot quicker than it took. But it's like, if it did, the show would have ended at like, episode 38 or maybe even 40.
Which
And
would have been okay.
well, yeah,
maybe not.
then we could have used like the remaining episodes for a cool like epilogue series, but that's just me. Speaking of, with regards to 47, I kind of would have enjoyed more of 47 just being no rider fight at all, and just let's look in and see how everyone is acclimating to returning to normalcy, as normal as your life can get after being a Kamen rider.
Of course.
Yeah. I actually like that idea.
Anyways,
But overall, I'm sorry to anyone who likes Michi, but like, I'm with Peko in episode 47. Just let him go. Stop caring about him. He got what he deserved.
okay, Frogs, what do you think? Do you have any thoughts on Michi that you want to put in this?
Okay, so when I first saw Michi, I was like, who the hell is this chick? And then I was all like, wait, that's a guy? Seriously, that's when I first saw Michi, I was all like, who the hell is this chick? And then I was like, oh, wait. Yeah, oh crap, hold on, sorry, I put on my DS because Evil Pit challenged me. So yeah, then I was all like, who the hell is this chick? And then later on I was like, wait, that's a guy? And I was all like, okay, this guy's a dick. Hold on, so much commotion in my house. Sorry. And I was all like, damn, this dude is a dick. And then like the episode where Michi was like officially took out Takatora and then he was lying on the floor like laughing maniacally. That's when I was all like, this guy isn't a dick anymore. I like officially love this guy because that hysterical laughing and whatnot. And hold on.
Ah, shit! People getting yelled at.
Oh boy. I think the general consensus, though, that we can say here is that Michi is liked in the beginning. He gets
But when he turns to the dark side, it's...
Unless you're an outlier like me, of course.
Okay, sorry, I had to do some yelling. Alright, so yeah, Michi, he's a girl, and he's a dick. And I have food now. I have food now, so I will pass the torch. So, hold on.
Okay.
We're pretty much done
with Michi.
But, yeah, you could say that's the general consensus, but I'm the outlier on this one. I don't agree with you guys at all, but that's my opinion. But
wait, agree with me that he looks like a girl? You don't even agree with that?
No, I don't agree with that at all. Wait a minute. Actually, you're not that far off, actually. Anyways,
Moving on.
To this, let's get to, I want to talk about three, I want to see, I'm trying to think, should we talk about specifically Takatora and then go on to Oren and Jonochi, or do you think we should just skip Takatora in this sense, or what?
Honestly, we've hit on the main three.
Honestly, we could have just talked about Takatora with Michi since they're brothers.
Probably
yeah.
Should. But either way, are there any other specific characters that anyone wants to mention? I'll start.
True.
There are three. I'm sorry.
True all-star of the show. Secret hidden main character. Hack the Knuckle Man.
We'll get to him.
I like Zach.
But
That
we'll get
was
to
a
three.
breath of fresh air in a fucking muddled pit of dumb.
I was just about to.
Yeah.
There are three of them that I want to focus on just quick. Takatora's cool. I understand, like, in the beginning, like, I really thought of him as very much the villain, but I understand, I like how he was more open-minded near the end, near the latter half, saying, like, that he can be able to find solutions that don't have to that don't require sacrifices for that hope, and that's an interesting thing to me, that he does go on that path, and he eventually does become more of a good guy and understands the error of his ways a lot quicker than I think Michi did, but either way. And there's two more I want to talk about, who I'll talk about at the same time. Oren and Jonochi. Oh my god, these
Poor
two.
Hase.
Bravo and Greedon. Oh my god. I have no words. It's just, what the hell? These two are amazing, and I love these two, but they're the most over-the-top people they are some of the most over-the-top that I've ever seen. But the thing is let me give a comparison here. Let me go to last year's Wizard. Sorry, CJ. I hate the Donut Man. I hate the donut transvestite with a burning, 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 burning passion. He was not funny, and he was not entertaining to me. I would say Oren at first kind of went in that direction, and Jonochi, but after a while they really grew on me, and I got used to him, and I was just like, these guys are awesome. So, yeah, I love their comedy and their humor, and I like how it adds some longevity to some of the more darker episodes of the series, how they have some sort of comedy, and it adds some longevity, and, it makes some of it more enjoyable, so it's not all deep, dark, depressing Earl Butcher stuff. Either way, though, that's all I have to say. And one more thing, actually. One more character I want to just mention is Io. Io. IYO. She's the... How do I put it? She's the waitress at the Bando shop. There was a scene with her at one point. I don't know what episode it was. I think it was 18, I think it was. And she has this broom, and Bravo's attacking, and she just starts hitting Bravo with this broom, and it is one of the funniest scenes that I've ever seen a Kamen Rider show, and it is hilarious to me. And from that moment, I've just remembered that always. I'm just remembered she just has this broom when Bravo's attacking, and she just keeps hitting him, and hitting him, and hitting him, and hitting him, and it's too funny. But I will get away from that. That's really all I have to say. And the rest of the characters were good. Mai was good. Sid was good. All of the characters were good for the most part. Their arcs, the arcs that they had, were handled well, and I enjoyed all the characters immensely, at least to some extent. I enjoyed them. I enjoyed the main three the most, which is why I ranted so much about them. But either way, so CJ, what about you? Any specific characters you want to mention or give light to?
I honestly can't think of anything, or anyone. I really can't think of anybody that's really... Well, no, I take that back. I'm going to hit on Mai a little bit, and I don't mean that in the derogatory manner that just sounded, but, so, Mai, I like the way they played her out. God, that even didn't sound right. Anywho, I like the way her character was played out, to the point of it came full circle. For anyone that watched the first episode and saw the big battle at the beginning with Baron and Gaim going against each other, you're starting to think that battle's not going to happen, because I think by episode 41 or 42, it's already starting to get to be the closing end of the series, and you're just like, okay, when's that big battle that we saw at the beginning of episode 1? When's that battle happening? They have to make it happen somehow. They found a way. I don't necessarily like the way they found a way to do it, but at the same time, I like the way they tied Mai into it. Basically making it an alternate universe that shows it's basically the same outcome that would happen in the regular world, just parallel from everybody else. I like it. I like the way her character was played out because through the entire series you see her as this, or you see this person who looks like Mai before you find out later on that it is going to be Mai, that's giving these cryptic messages and all that wonderful stuff. And her overall, and I'm going to be short about this, overall, I like the way her character was made. Even to the end, she still cared for Michi. Whether she would, I mean, she never readily admitted it, but you could tell it that she had sympathy for him. Same thing with Kota. She was able to understand Kaito, so which makes her perfect for what she becomes at the end. That's really all I can say. Volt?
See.
Here
Walter,
comes the Knuckle Man.
Oh God.
Zack!
God.
I hear you need a knuckle sandwich.
I'll-
walnuts
I'll
in
let
it?
I'll let you make all the knuckle-ish puns that you want. Just get it over with.
Oh God. I I really enjoyed Zack mostly for the fact that this character who we honestly thought was just your average like anti-hero mook suddenly becomes so Kota's off trying to talk to the overlords and get them to not blow everything up. Kaito's doing Kaito things. Michi's gone crazy. He's trying to kill everybody. And I'm here just, defending Zaume all by myself. Giving all these invest knuckle sandwiches.
Oh,
And I really wish we got more of that. I wish we got an episode that was just a day in the life of Zack as he's beating up Invis.
Oh goodness.
Also,
I'd pay to see that.
oh no, it's really good because I actually like boxing, and the fact that we have a writer whose entire motif is a boxer is great. I think he
Yeah.
brought a fresh air into what was slightly becoming a bit of a depressing arc, which is, Oren trying to make the entire city hate the beat writers, and the entire city hating on the beat writers, and a lot of people calling Kota stupid, and just it all rolls together and just starts really getting heavy, and overall starts dragging you down, and then, here comes Knuckle.
Knuckles to the rescue.
An uppercut to your spirits. Like I'm even just as I'm talking about this, watching his debut, and it's just so good. I think what also made him really great is when the only thing that I didn't really enjoy is the hey, we're going to build up this fight between Zack and Kaito a lot. And then it gets resolved really quick. Like, I don't even think the fight lasts a minute.
No, I don't think it did.
And I think that was a huge misstep in my opinion, but
I mean, they did find a way to make it work. I mean,
yeah,
I'm like you. I'm like you.
but
I
it
would have
ended
loved to have
with
seen
like
that
the
fight
fall of
longer.
Knuckle. But
Yeah, because I would have loved to have seen that last a lot longer.
I I really think even if Knuckles still fell in the end, I think that maybe 45's big fight should have just been Zack and Knuckle,
Yeah.
or like Baron and Knuckle, and then save the big fight for 46. But I guess that wasn't in the plan. That really depressed me.
Well, there's only so much that we can do.
Even to the end, until like he sees Kaito become an overlord, he's just like, no, I don't want to believe my friend has gone off the rails this much.
Yeah.
Anyways, though, Frogs, do you have any significant characters you want to talk about? Any other ones?
I don't hate anybody. Well, actually, no. I don't have anybody specifically. I just hate Ryoma. Really. I don't like Ryoma.
You too!
Yes. Okay, I will admit there is one character in the show that I really want to see die, and that was Ryoma, and I was happy the day that Kaito became an overlord, and he just pounded Ryoma into the ground, and I was like, yes, 1,000,000 times, yes!
I'm gonna talk about all the energy riders, minus Kaito, maybe Takatora.
And
Let's see,
Takatora.
Minato, I said maybe. Minato, I was kind of disappointed with in the end because like she got freaking Ryoma's upgraded driver and she didn't use so she only used it once and for 5 seconds and she died. Like I wanted to see.
No, she did
Peach
use
energy.
I think she used it. No,
Nope.
she used it a couple times before she died.
No, she used it. No, okay, she used it once
She used
before
it
in the
twice.
fight versus. She used it twice when the fight between Bravo and Redon and stuff, and then in the fight, and then when Zack tried to kill Kaito. But I was disappointed because she had this upgraded, souped-up driver, but wasn't any stronger, honestly.
Yeah.
Still the same old.
It also didn't help that the only people left for her to fight were Sengoku riders, and it's like, energy riders are so much stronger than them. It's like,
Yeah.
I do have some things with Minato that just bugged me a little, which was I actually really enjoyed her at the start because she felt like a really strong female rider. And also, holy crap, a female rider that actually means something. And isn't like a cheap throwaway thing like Mage and Wizard. I was super psyched for Mage, and then like Mage kind of became a dumb thing, and it's like, damn it. But no, with Minato, I saw her as a really strong female character, and then she kind of turned into a one-woman Kaito-obsessed equivalent of Gary Oak's cheerleading squad.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, God. Gary.
And it just felt weird. I also kind of, on 45, when she's like, oh yeah, I totally noticed this bomb, I was like, the hell you did!
Oh, yeah. I was like...
Hell
I didn't understand that part either. I was like, what?
like she magically was like, oh no, I totally sensed this.
And, yeah, frickin' Sid. He got the death he deserved
Maybe
to get.
a rock
'cause
sandwich.
He was a dick.
Hey!
Yeah, he was a
Hey,
dick.
I'll say one thing though. I liked the way that mofo died. He deserved to be squished.
Cherry Crush, my friend. Cherry Crush.
Cherry Crush.
Uh,
He got killed. Out of all the people who
I
died
think
in that
I
series,
think one of the frogs. I think one of the guys in our Toku group made a pretty humorous image about Sid's death.
Oh yeah, it was it
Yeah, it
was
was the Mortal
Sid
Kombat
versus
one.
yeah, it was it was
Rosho versus
what's
Sid.
the award? And it said finish him. It was
No,
pretty
no,
funny.
it was Fatality.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It was
fatality.
but anyways,
Fatality. Rosho wins.
though, now that we've kind of gotten some of those guys out of the way, really I think the last thing to talk about before we end our final thoughts is really really the fights. Like we've talked sort of themes along with the characters. What do you guys think about like the action in the show? Just quickly, we'll talk about the action and we'll wrap this thing up.
It was kind of clunky in the beginning. It found its own later on, but like, the suits suffered so much because of Bandai. Just like they must look like the toys. They must look like the toys. And like some suits suffered because of this. Most notably are pine, kiwi, grape, a little bit of banana. Just the shoulders were flopping everywhere. And it's like, oh god, this looks so bad. Like your action suits are really, really just. Oh man. And the thing is, I really liked Pine. I really liked Mango because, like, I like the heavy hitters, and it's like we never used them.
I guess that was something that they had noticed early on, is that those two particular armors did flop around way too much, so they decided not to do it.
A good chunk of them did, but it's like I kind of, after a point I was like, what was the point of you guys like giving them different forms if they're only going to use them like 2 or 3 times in the show?
I never saw Mango flopping around.
Well, now I know
Mango didn't, because it actually had very compact shoulders, but like Banana did.
Ichigo did.
Nah.
Ichigo didn't because he was a ninja.
No, like the top of the strawberry. Like its the shoulder pad that was the top of the strawberry flopped around a lot. The other ones didn't.
Yeah.
It's mostly the shoulders and pauldrons for the suits were incredibly floppy.
Kachidoki flopped like a bitch.
Yeah,
well,
but it looked good doing it because the scale armor look really worked for it. But it's like it's for a while I was just it's like, man, Pine would like destroy this guy. Why isn't he using Pine? And it's like, nope, just gonna keep using Orange. It's like Gaim has the most form changes out of the show. It usually defaults to Orange, Jimba Lemon, and Kachidoki.
And we never got a Jimba Melon. What the hell?
That's the one grievance I have with the action is no Jimba Melon, no, none.
No double melon. What the guys?
Oh, that would have been awesome. Oh crap! That image is going through my mind.
Like, I don't like how they limited the Jimba to just the one user. I didn't like that at all.
Yeah. I think the Jimba was just supposed to. Honestly, I think the Jimba was just supposed to, kind of be the Gaim's equivalent of the wizard dragon forms.
Wizard dragon form is would be his mid-season upgrade. Gaim's mid-season upgrade is Kachidoki. Jimba, I don't know what the hell to tell you about that.
Jimba was a stopgap so they didn't get like right to Kachidoki immediately. But it's like Jimba was kind of cool. I wish other people got to use it. You know, kind of like the Inomaru from Shinkenger.
But hey, either way. Yeah,
It would at least allow like someone other than Kota to be able to fight the Energy Riders.
But
It was really Kota though that was up against the Energy Riders most of the time. You know, like he was the one that stood against them. Not many people knew what they were doing.
He was the only one who could fight them on an even playing field because he was the only one who could use S-Class Luck Seeds.
Yep.
But
he was also like the only person that could just that actually really even knew they existed for a while too.
Yep.
I like the fighting. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I do like the fighting, but at the same time, I'm with you guys. The costumes that were used in those fight scenes, they had a lot of work that needed to be done to them to keep them from flopping. I mean, with all the flopping that was going on with them, I mean, it looked like it honestly looked like some pieces were going to fly off at one point, especially on Banana. It looked like those the shoulder shield thingies. It looked like those things were going to pop off and become a boomerang for him to use. The way they were kept on flopping in the wind. I swear, all it would have taken is just one good swift wind, and they were gone.
I'm really sure that happened. Like,
probably.
We've had looks into the sets of Rider series before, and they had this whole thing of there are two what are called pose suits, which are mostly for very idle and just not really action intensive shots, and then you have two action suits, which are designed for the fighting.
The action suits were not given as much detail as they should have been.
Well,
just
again,
because that's obvious. I mean, that's the point. I understand that that's the point, but at the same time, I don't want pieces falling off.
Well, again, that's because Bandai was all like, "Hey, make the suits look exactly like the toy."
Yeah, that wasn't brilliant.
Like, that's the thing. The toys were done before, like, the show was even, like, starting up.
I mean, that's usually the way it goes. That's something that, kind of getting a little off topic. That's something that happens, regardless of what you look at, be it Kamen Rider or Sentai. The toys seem to get done way before. Perfect example is they had introduced the Mystic Force. They had brought out the unicorn toy. The unicorn mech, they never used it in the US version as far as I know. So it made no sense. They ended up selling it regardless, but there was no entrance of it in the show. So yes, usually the toys are done way before the series is even considered to be done.
Drive, his tire change figure was the first ever image we got of him before the actual image.
That is true. Oh, Drive.
I just wanted to say, I think the action was pretty good. I think, yes, for me especially, Pine was suit wasn't that good, and there were some suits that were kind of off to me. Orange at first was kind of off, but then eventually it grew on me, and it looks really nice. I like same with Baron and Ryugen. I love the Energy Rider suits. I even like Lemon Energy for Baron. I like what they did with that. I even like the design of that. I think that was pretty cool. And the action, at first, the CGI was absolutely utter garbage in the beginning. Episode 2 was one of the worst fight scenes that I'd ever seen in my entire life, laughably so. But eventually the action did find its place, and it got better and better, and then episode 45 comes along and you're like, holy crap! So, pretty good action overall. Once again, kind of like a locomotive. Slow at first, but eventually it takes up the reins, and then it just goes way where you never expected to go. Anyways, though, so now that we've gotten all that covered, does anyone want to share any more final thoughts before we end this bad boy?
I'm still hungry, and I just ate like the biggest burger I can get with large fries and a large drink.
You
I
have
supersized everything and I'm still hungry.
I supersized everything, and I'm still hungry.
Yeah, I did that at one point, and
Anywho, I think overall the series, honestly, if you like we have all said, if you have not watched this series, why the f are you still here? You need to go watch this series.
Exactly. Go watch Korra. Like I cried during season 3. Korra is just the best show. And then season 4 of Korra just started today. I haven't even seen
talking about Korra!
Because
It's called a joke!
Why aren't you talking about Korra, Thomas? Why aren't you talking about Korra?
Alright. Overall, I think the general consensus here is you need to go watch the series. If you've not finished the series, you need to go finish the series.
Right.
Like it's been stated, it is very slow to start. You're going to watch it and you're going to think, okay, when's this going to pick up? When is this going to get going? It does get going. Trust me. Just have patience. You'll get through it. Believe me.
Okay, so I would have to agree with that, and I think everyone can here. So, anyone want to do any shameless plugs before we end this bad boy?
Mine is go watch Korra. What are you doing with your life?
Oh, sorry. Well, if you have any more, I didn't know you wanted me to say any more. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, show is good. First half is great. Second half, your mileage may vary.
Yes.
And Adrian opted out for a sec. Okay. So.
I think he was legit serious there.
Anyways, there he's back now. But for quick shameless plug, I have my links for my Tumblr and Toku Buster, all stuff there. Still been very busy with stuff going on, and I don't get really any breaks when it comes to school. No breaks, unfortunately. But I'm going to try to see if I can get some reviews up, write some scripts for some reviews. I'm actually going to try to see if I can do an individual, now that Gaim has ended, I'm actually going to see if I can do an individual review of Gaim with just my thoughts and have it be more abridged, maybe like a 10 to 12 minute review on it, and have that be my first review. But hey, if you guys have any suggestions on what you want me to do for any reviews that I'm doing, tell me and I'll try to do it. I'll even see if I can do like write-ups, like I can do blog posts and then eventually do video reviews. So I can start off just doing blog posts again, which I haven't done in a while. But anyways, links are all in the description for everybody. Promoting Sebi's stuff, who's not here for some reason. Busy stuff crap. Anyways.
That rat bastard. Brooklyn Rage.
Rage. Anyways.
Not Brooklyn Rage.
Here?
No.
Brooklyn Rage. What? I'm trying to remember how the song goes, and I don't remember.
No.
Nah, Brooklyn Rage, nah, Brooklyn Rage, nah. Okay, I'm not gonna do it. Okay, CJ. CJ. Anyways, give me your opinions here. Or what? No, shameless plugs, sorry. Shameless plugs, yes. My brain is on fire right now. My brain is on fire.
I can light it on more fire. I got a million figure here.
No, thank you. Anyways, CJ.
Anywho, So I still have the Toku review or the Toku tour reviews. One thing that I do need to say here is please understand that everything that I get is used. It is not brand new. Because I think I actually had someone message me like, why does my stuff look like crap? And it's like, I don't get it brand new. Okay, a lot of what I get, I either spend hardly,
Yeah.
I hardly spend.
Got a huge haul from me, by the way.
I mean, I either spend hardly anything to get it, or I get it for free. So honestly, so please understand this the next time someone wants to say anything. But I do have reviews coming up. I'm in the process of recording one right now. I'm doing the Bokinger Ultimate Daiboken. That thing is awesome. Much better than the US version, I'll say.
Welcome.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. What's down here?
Thank you very
frogs.
I said thank you. Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you, Ribbit.
You're welcome.
But so anyway, yeah. So go. It should come up here in the next week or two. Not next week or two. Good God. Next day or two. I just have to finalize a couple of things real quick and make sure that I've got everything good. Other than that, we'll be good to go.
Okay, so Volt, any shameless plugs?
Just the usual. Me and my dad run a freelance IT business. You can reach us
By the way,
via
your camera's
email.
not on. Volt, your
Oh, I
camera's
know,
not on.
I know. That's I have reasons for that.
Okay.
Yeah. Can reach us at
He's naked.
very.
Oh my lord, he's getting ready to have a sexy party.
Oh God, yes.
Oh yes,
Oh,
yes.
Anywho.
Anyways,
Half of
yeah,
your
you can
having
reach
Volt.
us via email or via our website. Links provided down below. We are quite good at what we do. Together, we have a combined 30+ years of experience with computers and networks.
You left me.
Okay, so and then we have Last Sky
left me.
Frogs.
Ribbit.
I have one shameless plug and one shameless plug only.
The outsider.
Go watch Korra. If you aren't watching Korra right now, you are making a mistake. You should not be watching us. You should be watching Korra. I swear on everything, go watch Korra. And I am done. Everybody here, their shameless plugs are wrong. Their shameless plug should be go watch Korra. Because Korra is love, Korra is life, Digimon.
No! Ryugen is love, Ryugen is life.
I'm done.
Get out!
Frogs, have I told you that I love
Digimon.
you sometimes? That was just awesome. Alright.
Anyways, let's end this bad boy, and I'm gonna end it the way that we end all things.
Wait, what did
Just-
CJ say?
I'll tell you in a moment.
Oh,
No, CJ, say.
No, I'll tell you in a moment. Go ahead.
CJ, say.
It's
I
not
will get
important.
the stick.
Fine, whatever.
I'll get my
Okay.
stick.
Okay, bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye. You can all mute your cameras.
Bye.
Here we go. Bye, everybody.